Good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you're at. Live from Siargao Island, Philippines, Mindanao. There we go. All right. Make sure I was on today's forecast. Overcast. Another overcast day here. But this is how it is down here in the southern part of the Philippines this time of the year. Still beats snow, that's for sure. Nick Lopez, Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, what do we got? 2, 3, 4, 5, like 4 more days. 4 more days. Did everybody get all their Christmas shopping done? uh, Merry Christmas, Bob. Bob Kirkman. OPJ, how are you doing? I hope you're doing better. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Arturo, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for stopping in. Merry Christmas. Mark Doyle. Victor Coco. Hi, Philly. Keith McDaniel. Good morning to you. Ricky USA. Oh, sorry. Ricky USA is here. Thanks for stopping in. Chosen One is here. Thanks for stopping. And we've got them all here joining the fun. Phillies live with barking dogs and angry Marines. You gotta love it. You gotta love it here in the Philippines. The more you stay here, the more you start understanding really. Like you can hear people say, that's just how it is. That's just and until you're here a long time, that's just how it is. It's hard to adjust. It's hard for some people to adjust coming to the Philippines. They think their way of thinking is the way it should be. Um, Not. This is the Philippines. It's a different country, different thoughts, different culture, different way of doing things, different ways of handling situations. It's different, and it's hard for people that never have been here to really understand that. But when you've been here, you know what I'm saying. Out of stock. That's another one. Out of stock. it just, it just is out of stock. Hey, excuse me, ma'am. I'm looking for like a bottle of water. Sorry, sir, out of stock. But the bottle of water's right there on the shelf. Here's a good one. All right. Here's a good one. I'll tell you this good one that happened to me. Hello from Allentown. Hello from Atlanta. When in Rome. No diving trips planned yet. But here's one that happened to me. I walked into the store. I was looking for what the heck was I looking for? It was some type of oil. I can't even. Man, I just started a story and I can't even remember it. Right? I was looking for some type of oil, and you got to understand something. In the Philippines, we say things, words differently than they were. We'll pronounce something simple like Graham. Like I'm looking for graham crackers. You know, graham crackers. We don't know what graham crackers are, right? Hopefully. Um, but I'm looking for graham crackers, and they're like, no, 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 we don't have any. We don't. And I'm like, wait, graham crackers. So nobody knew, and then finally, some girl understood what I was saying, and she's like, "Oh, you mean we call them Graham crackers? Graham." So sometimes, our words and what we say aren't what they're used to hearing and saying, referring to certain things here. Yeah. A lot of times You almost gotta, when you're dealing with employees that may be working in a mall or maybe working, you know what I mean, when you're out and about, to just keep it basic, simple English. That's sometimes the best thing you can do. And in no way is this an insult to Filipino people, but you wanna talk to them at, like, a middle school type language, simple, basic. Um, Use multiple words to describe things, but yeah, Graham. Ah, I'm going there in 2 or 3 months. I'd like to talk to you later. Just coming here to the Philippines in 2 or 3 months. Talk to me. Yeah, I have a link to my, Filling the Philippines Gmail account. That's how you get a hold of me. Best way to get a hold of me. Yeah, Brian Smith or Brian Simpson. Howdy from Ventura, California. Thanks for stopping in, Brian. Brian always seems to pop in and out of my live streams and Lutz live streams. Hello, I was wondering what your rule is on people stopping by for a visit. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Let me think. I've had two people in Angeles. When we had the store, we didn't, people could come there, they can say hello. And we did have a lot of people come and stop by when we had our store. But as far as my house, I think like two people. And it takes you by surprise. All right. Because some people will find where you are. You know what I mean? In a good way or a bad way, I guess you could say. Hopefully, all in a good way. You know, maybe, they want to be outside your house and do some Photoshop, photo pictures of you like a paparazzi, sell it to the highest bidder. But I've had here on this island, I have had one subscriber. He knew where we lived, and he popped over. I met him before. I'd met him before here and there. And one day, him and his wife, I think we were during Fiesta. He just popped over. He's like, "Hey," I'm like, "All right, hey, all right." I knew the guy, but I don't know. You don't prefer it because you really don't know sometimes what goes through people's heads. You know, you don't know. This guy is coming to beat me up because I said something didn't like. That's the truth. And if you're talking about people in the Philippines stopping by, um, neighbors and stuff, they stop by. But what makes Filipinos congregate a lot when they stop by somewhere? It'll all be judged on if there's red horse there. There's red horse there, they're going to stay. Uh, but people stop by here. I mean, my uncle has friends that stop by. He does things, for like the small community here. The fishermen, like he'll make spearfish or he'll make spear guns and he'll sell them, and people will come here to get things worked on. There's a project he's doing now. There's a trike parked out there, and he's cleaning it down, and he's going to repaint it. He's got some soldering work that needs done. But yeah, I don't mind that. It's not like there's 100 people here all the time visiting. Ah, chosen one. I go to JJ's like 5 a.m. hoping I don't have to deal with people. Yeah, JJ's is open 24/7, I think, right? Well, I don't remember. Um, but I'm the same way. I want to get up when I was in the city. I wanted to get up early, have everything done by 12. Like what I wanted to do: go eat breakfast, do a video, walk around, and like I don't like going out in crowds either. I don't. I think that has to do with the job I worked. Fresh milk there means any milk that isn't powder. To America, that packaged shelf, stable liters aren't. Oh, liters aren't fresh milk. Yeah, you get that milk here in a box of milk. I gotten used to it. I'm not a big milk drinker. I don't have to have a glass of milk and all that in the morning. Um, since there's no cereal that I like that I can find, I don't need milk for that. But if I do get a nice box of cereal, old Captain Crunch or Captain Peanut Butter, uh, I would go down to S&R and get the real milk. But yeah, milk here is not like back home. Some people just have too much time, just too much time to just come find you. Yeah. Yes, they should. The Eagles should clinch the division. It's playing. I'm not even my word. The Eagles will clinch the division. Congratulations. You clinched the division by beating up a team with its third string in. Uh, yes, the Cowboys are done. Such is life. Good morning from Mindoro. Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Lucas Musser. How are you doing? Merry Christmas to you and your family. Ben Saint, Merry Christmas to Brian and family and all the viewers. Brian Simpson, have you considered paving or graveling the driveway? The driveway at one point was a muddy mess. I mean, you couldn't get in. We had planks of wood. I mean, literally planks of wood that I used and everybody used to get in and out. And if you didn't use those planks of wood and you got off, you were in the mud. So I forget how many yards or whatever it was last year, or shortly after we first moved here, brought in, and we laid that stone that comes in the driveway into our house. And like I said, it was a muddy mess. But I'm not paving it, grading it. Nah, they'll work with it here. You know, that's the great thing about the Philippines out here. They just work with things and work around it. 28:10. So yeah, we are almost 14, 15 minutes. And let's talk about the U.S. Marine expat living in the Philippines versus the barking dogs in the Philippines. You know, I get pop-up suggestions like everybody else does here on YouTube. And I have people that I follow. Um, YouTube's a great tool. It is a great tool for a lot of different things besides foreigners in the Philippines. You know, but this video popped up something about having legal issues in the Philippines, and then I had seen other people talking about a video that this Marine put out. He lives in the Philippines, married with his wife. They met over in the States or something. Then they came back here. They're living here. He's got like 4 years here. Um, ink still not dry on your passport. Still not dry. Um, But they were having issues with the neighbor's dog barking, which I can understand that. Who I can remember one time that it really did bother me in the city. And I'm like, nope. I walked outside and and I was like, shut your fucking dog up. Come on, people are sleeping. I lost it. I lost it. There's the crazy American yelling in the neighborhood, right? But I lost it. Dog did stop barking, and I didn't hear the dog barking after that. But in a situation that this guy and his wife are in, this Marine, this dog is just constantly barking, constantly, according to him. According to him. Now, we never got the dog side of the story, but according to him, the dog was barking nonstop. When does the next phase of the remodeling begin? Next month. Next month. So we got this whole dynamics of the dog constantly barking. And it's like, what do you do? What do you do? He was going on. They emailed the people, please keep your dog quiet. This went on back and forth for months. Um, and let's face it, a lot of times Filipinos don't want to be confrontational. They don't want to be confrontational. It's okay, okay. Sorry, sir, out of stock. Okay, like so. I'm sure the husband had to be like, he's smart enough to know I'm not going to go out there and yell. He even said, "Hey, if this was if this was back in America, it'd be different." Um, so what happens? Does I'm just saying, like, does the husband like complain so much that the wife just gets so upset and because the wife probably could care less. Filipinos, they could care less if they're laying on the floor with an open window trying to sleep at night and the dog's neighbors are barking. They don't care. Like it just that's just part of who the Filipino people is. They can sleep through, you know, that type of craziness. So is the wife like being pressured? Like what, I'm tired of hearing my husband, but I don't want to say anything because, I don't want to be confrontational. It doesn't bother me. Um, who knows? So they, they, they went to the barangay, um, made a complaint at the barangay. Um, at one point, the neighbor was saying the ghosts were making the dog bark. Um, Police were involved. Now all the neighbors know that the police were at your house and they're all talking. Everybody wants to know what's going on. The angry foreigner, he caused all this over dogs and everybody, and we don't care about dogs. You know what I mean? But they resolved the issue. I guess it was the best thing he could do to resolve the issue because honestly, who does want to listen to a dog just bark all the time? It would drive me a little crazy, try to resolve it. Um, it, you learn these things, you'll come here and there's no books written. There's no YouTuber out there that has done it. You will run into a challenge that you're going to have to figure out on your own how to navigate it. Can't go screaming and yelling. I was talking about how my package didn't get here. My mustard, or I had to cancel from my mustard, and There was another package. There's actually two I'm waiting for. One is the second ingredient for my deviled eggs. It was mayonnaise. So I'm getting messages 3 days in a row. All right, we're out to make a delivery today. Please have this amount of money left or have this amount of money to pay for your item. So I'm excited. Oh, I'm going to get my deviled eggs. I will find that mustard. I get 3 messages every day saying they're coming. Well, then they didn't come. And then I get a message that says, since you were unavailable or something like that, we will be sending the product back to the seller. And I'm like, what the? What? I was home every day. I even sent you emails. Hey, I'm home. When are you going to come? Like, I let Lut handle that. My wife, you email him back in Tagalog and she handled all that. No reply. No reply. You can't get upset. It's like you leave a number, but you don't answer. These are the things you run into, and you just hey, eventually it is what it is. So luckily, Miguel knew where the carrier's hub was down in Dapa. Long story short, we get down there, and there had to be, I'm not bullshitting you, hundreds of packages sitting in there. Like there was a big pile, right? All these packages. And after I seen what was going on and talking to the one of the guys that worked there, spoke English. Matter of fact, his dad was a Navy. He was in the Navy in Texas, and then retired. And he was born in Texas and everything, but now he's here in the Philippines. Been here since 2012. After his divorce, he's Filipino. He's Filipino, and after his divorce back in the United States, where he had to give away the cat and the dog and his house and his pension and all that other fun, exciting stuff, right? He decided to come over here, and he said, we can't find people to work. We can't find people to work. They'll show up. They want to work, but they don't have a driver's license. So he's like, our policy, the company policy is they have to have a driver's license. You'll have other delivery companies here on this island where they don't care if you have a driver's license, they'll take you. But once you see how it does, like, how can you get mad? There's certain things like you just learn, you have to learn to overcome. As far as the barking dog and all that, he did what he had to do to try to get the issue resolved. Police were involved. Barangay was involved. The dog people had they signed some statement saying they're going to handle the situation, and I guess what they did is they moved the dogs to another area of the people's property, but they can still hear the dogs barking, but it's 95% better. You have to do, if you have to take a route like that, you have to take a route like that. You try to keep it as calm amongst your neighboring friends as you can. But yeah, then I thought to myself, well, if I was the neighbor and I wanted to be like vindictive, get back at you, I'd get me a bunch of roosters and I'd line them up on the wall. How are you gonna tell someone we don't want to hear your roosters crow? All right. The rooster. I don't We have roosters. Yes, I hear them. Like I just heard one because my I'm talking about them, but I've gotten to the point where I don't hear the roosters. Um, you kind of just block certain things out. Um, but yeah, you have to learn to adapt. I know people say it, but I don't say adapt to everything, but certain things you just is the way it is. Uh, let me go up here. Let me go up here. All right. I saw the video, his channel, It's Me. That was the channel. And like I said, he handled it the way he handled it. All right. And some people, might not like the way he handled it. What? Oh no, that don't bother me. Nah, I don't think anybody hears it. Uncle's working down below, and he's worried if it was bothering me. Like, no, you're working. You're working. He's running a grinder. But yeah, that was his channel. Uh, saying it was several dogs barking from boredom. Yeah, yeah. Who knows? We had a dog one time. I had a dog years ago, and this dog barked. Like when we would leave the house, it would bark. And I only knew it because I was renting, and downstairs from me was uh, an insurance agent, State Farm, I think, something like that. And I knew these secretary and the people that worked in there, and they said, "Yeah, the dog's like just constantly barking." I had to go out and buy an electronic bark collar, and when the dog barked, it would zap it. But yeah, some dogs they will bark, and it can drive you nuts, man. If the dogs don't get you, the rooster will. If you're worried about noise, I can't think of a place worse than the Philippines. Yeah. Yeah. It's everywhere. Unless you get your no, I'll tell you one place on this island that I was at. We were up north, right? Up north, which is the most beautiful part of the whole island. And we stayed at a place up there. Matter of fact, the owner is not a subscriber, but has watched my videos in the past. Really nice guy, retired military, just a really nice little resort. And I remember sitting outside on the little balcony, the little deck, and I said to Lut, I said, I haven't heard a single rooster. Like there were no roosters. But here to find out, I guess he had a dog, a couple dogs, or a dog that made a raid at the neighbor's rooster area, and he said, "Well, that cost me X amount of money just to resolve that issue." I guess the dogs took out the roosters. But you'll hear about that. You'll hear stories like that. And imagine that. You want a dog? Like, let me get a dog. All right, let me get this vicious dog because I'm an American. I'm an American, and I got to have a pit bull or a Doberman or the tough dogs. Nothing wrong with them dogs. Beautiful dogs. But what if your dog gets out and attacks your neighbor's chickens and like knocks them off? All right, a hit, like one group of mafia uh, coming to take over another group. You know what I mean? And then you get stuck in a situation like that, and you got to pay. And if you don't, man, it could lead to some serious issues, some serious court costs, some serious issues within the community. All right. You got to pay this dude for his roosters. That rooster, and how do you value it? How do you value the price of a rooster here? Well, because they love rooster wrestling. You have to call it rooster wrestling. If you don't call it rooster wrestling, all right, YouTube don't like it. So how do you value that rooster? Well, if I put this rooster in the MMA fight with the other rooster, he could potentially bring me $1 million pesos over his lifetime if he makes it. How do you negotiate? You know what I mean? But yeah, that can happen. I've heard of that twice since I've been here. Yeah. So, Slick Rick, good morning, Slick Rick. Thanks for stopping in. I'm not gonna say I really don't want to say the name of the uh, um, delivery company here. After being there and seeing the whole picture and the nightmare, the literal nightmare in the little warehouse, and I can understand. Let's put it this way: I can understand why they are why packages don't get delivered, but maybe it was Flash Express, maybe it wasn't Flash Express. Uh, but one on this island does have a bad reputation, and a bad reputation not only on this island, but I was told Cebu and other areas. They have a bad reputation with package delivery. OPJ is feeling better. Home now. Hospital sucks. Yep. Good. Good to hear you're home, OPJ. Now you can like relax in the comfort of your own space. You know, I don't like sitting. I don't like, I get to, when I'm in a hospital, and I've been in the hospital, matter of fact, in the Philippines, I get to the point where I want to leave. I want to leave. I'm okay. I know I'm okay. I want to leave. Um, but yeah, I'm glad you're doing better. Jim Diddy, he stopped by yesterday, and no French's mustard. He was told they're waiting for the stock to come in, but he's over there every day, so he'll stop by and check. But not yet. It is going to be a sad Christmas without my deviled eggs. I did get my Philadelphia cream cheese, though, so that's a good thing. And it's from Australia. And somebody says, well, that's not Philadelphia cream cheese. Or, yeah, it is. It tastes like Philadelphia cream cheese. But yeah, it's made in Australia. Philippines travel. Owning dogs and roosters are a status symbol here in the Philippines. If you own 50, you're rich. Yeah, it's good for that bartering stuff. It'd be great if you still barter. And some people do still barter. All right. All right. You're going to, hey, I want a goat of yours. All right. Well, how many roosters are worth one goat? Well, 10 roosters will be worth what? Like, if you still could barter, yep, you'd be considered rich, right? You'd be considered rich. The more roosters you, but roosters would be on the level of like a peso because everybody has a rooster, right? And dogs and cat would be on. Now a rooster I would bump up for the simple value that it can make you money. But like dogs and cats, they'd be like worth the peso, you know. But yeah, and here's getting back to the dog barking issue. He went as far as trying to find out. Now I don't know if he was trying to, all right, pursue another legal matter because I don't know his thinking, what this guy was thinking, but he went as far as finding out if there's laws in the Philippines about breeding. You know, are they breaking the law about breeding? Breeding here in the Philippines. Do you have to have a permit to breed dogs in the Philippines or cats in the Philippines? He went as far as checking in on that. It's like why? Why? Would that be one more ammo you have in your pocket to, put on, on out there? I've got all these records of the dog barking and all these emails and all this, and you're breaking the law. Like, who knows? Who knows? But like I said, sometimes you just have to go a certain route. You have to. Um, but route, well, I think it was a good. I think it was a decent video about dealing with an issue like that. All right, telling it how it is, telling what he did, and I don't know. I mean, according to what he's saying, he did everything that you could do. you know, yeah. Mark says we have two lots on opposite corner. One lot leaves them out at night and park and bark and raid bins, and others keep them chained 23 hours a day, then walk them 10 yards if that's how keeping your pets. Yeah, we can't, us foreigners, it just, for those that like and love animals, dogs, cats, whatever your liking is, it's different. I mean, you see how animals are treated here, and it is the way it is. You see dogs that are skinny, running down the road and half their hair gone, and there's just all over the place here, and it's almost like they're just part of they're just part of the Philippines. You got people that take very well care of their pets, very well. Um, Take them and get them groomed, and take them and get, just like in America. And then you have, people out in the provinces and even the cities that have dogs and pets, and they just run, they just roam, they run, they're here, they're everywhere. Um, but as far as trying to change things here, oh, they got to go out and get, they should change the law to where they have to have, a or it's against the law for them to breed dogs here. And you ain't going to change that, man. It's not going to happen. And even if it was a law, it'd be like a no smoking law here, like in a city where everybody is walking around smoking cigarettes. They're not going to enforce it, sort of like, you're supposed to have your taillights working, and and your mirrors are supposed to be on your motorbike, because if that's breaking the law if they're not on there, and it's part of they're not going to stop you and enforce it. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, GR, how are you doing, GR? Thanks for stopping in. Merry Christmas to you, GR. GR in the house. Croker, good morning from Butuan. How are you doing, Croker? How's Butuan? Croker, did you get up to pit stop? Or have you been to pit stop? I think we mentioned this the last time. Pit stop. Great restaurant. Have HG bring the mustard from AC. No, how did she's busy. Like, I mean, she's on a schedule. She has places she has to, go and she's all about learning, schooling about learning. I didn't want to bother her to, go to Landers or something like that and try to find it. And uh, she's schooling some of this stuff. Wow, I'll tell you sometime about some of the some of the crazy stuff that I went to school. And anything else? Yeah. Did you find your mustard sauce, Brian? Merry Christmas to you and your family. Nope, didn't find the mustard sauce yet. People are saying, oh, go get this kind of mustard or this kind of mustard. Yeah, it has to be French's. Bruce. I didn't say hi to Bruce. Good morning, Bruce. How is Bruce doing? Breaking traditions, moonshiner. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah, where are we at? Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. Uh, you know what? I didn't hear from any of those Eagles bandwagon people on my Facebook's feeds for 3 weeks. And as soon as they won that game, everybody jumped on that bandwagon again. Some people take it way too serious. I just seen where uh, something about fans, sports, uh, the whole city, sports teams, fans of their sports. They rank Phillies fans amongst their Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, and Phillies. Like they rank Philadelphia the worst fan base. uh, what do I need mustard for, Mike? Um, my deviled eggs. Gotta have French's mustard. Gotta have Hellman's mayonnaise, and that's the ingredient. I need those two name brands because it brings me back home. However, do eggs taste a little different here? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Eggs do taste a little different here in the Philippines than back in America where I'm from. Yes, they're still good, but yes. Martin Smith. I live in a subdivision with no HOA, so no rules there. It's okay, but as people are saying, these dogs run riot. Either either put up with it or move. Yeah, It- we've got here. We have a Choi. Well, he's just an ornament. All right, house ornament. A Rocky, Blackie, Coconut Head, and Whitey. We have 5 dogs here. 5. B2 passed away, so we have 5. And I see the neighbors' dogs sneak over here, right? They sneak over here. And they're like, a couple of them are just rat dogs. Would I love to, you know, give them an extra scoop of rice and feed them? Sure. But you do that to one, then you'll have 20 here. So I shush them away. Shoo. Every time I see them, shoo, shoo. And cats, we have cats that will come here. And I'll shush. I shush them away. Shoo, shoo. See, that's a Filipino word that most people don't understand. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Some of you might hear it and be like, "What is that?" Like you might be in a mall or getting groceries, and there's a woman standing there, maybe with her kid or something like that, and you might hear, right? It basically means shut up. You know what I'm talking about? Some of you guys have to know what I'm talking about. Come on, you have to know. You've had to have heard. You have to have heard that. Man, Arlene picked up a ham and a turkey. Ah, shut up, Mike. Shut up. I'm going to have to ban you for making my mouth water. You put dill pickled relish on your. Some people do that. I don't. I don't like that on it. Yeah, it gives a flavor. But me, just give me the mayonnaise whipped up with the mustard in the egg. And if you can find paprika, some of that. I did find paprika, but it was called Spanish paprika, right? So wait, it says paprika. Because look, I said to Lut, I said, I got to find paprika. She's like, oh, I seen paprika up at Prince's. Like, really, paprika? Nah, there's no way. There's no paprika up there. So one day I was in there and I'm looking. They have a little spice area. Now, if they had an international, small little international area in there, I'd be in heaven. But they don't. And I looked. I'm like, yeah, they do have paprika, but it says Spanish paprika. And the color was a little off. It was more of a darker color than that reddish color. So I brought it home and I said, yeah, we're right, Lut. And I open it up and it is paprika. Spanish paprika is smoked. Okay. Okay. That makes sense now, Luke. Yes, it did have that smell to it. So it would actually probably have the taste to it. So that, Luke, I knew Luke would come through. But yeah. I even had a buddy that flew in yesterday, bring me stovetop stuffing. All right. Uh, I, I, I don't know if I have seen stovetop stuffing in the Philippines. Once again, our lives are always go towards food, right? I don't know if I've seen stovetop stuffing in the Philippines. I can't remember. But yeah, I know I had subscribers bring me stovetop stuffing. I had subscribers bring me dried onion. I looked like my wife had green bean casserole for the first time back in the States, and she loved it. But one of the ingredients is it's called dried onion, which you couldn't find here. And I had a subscriber bring some of that dried onion here, and they actually gave us everything, the beans, everything. But yeah, Street Freak Patrol is here. Thanks for stopping in, Street Freak Patrol. One and only Street Freak Patrol. Not good for deviled eggs. Yeah. I wouldn't when I smelt it, I'm like, I wouldn't even put it on deviled eggs. Like it's having a full house for Christmas Eve. Yeah, here's here's the thing. In the Philippines, they will celebrate like full meals and everything Christmas Eve. They'll prepare food, they'll get food and everything ready. We back home, when you're married, you have to do one side of the family or the other side of the family when it comes to holidays. And those that were married back in the States know what I'm talking about. And we would do a Christmas Eve at my grandmother's with a full meal, then Christmas Day at my mom's with a full meal. But here in the Philippines, they'll do that Christmas Eve is the big meal. And then, of course, the next day it's eating leftovers and maybe people stopping by and you'll have extra food to help to, feed them and everything like that. But we're also doing both. We're doing the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because I got the little hams, little round hams they sell here, and they're good. There was a brand up in Angeles, excuse me, that I used to like, but they don't have that name brand down here. They do have two different name brands. So I bought two of the, different name brands. So we'll have that Christmas Day. I'll have make me some probably mashed potatoes, get some rolls, and butter and stuff like that. But I gotta wait. We're doing the Christmas Eve. There'll be so much food. There'll be so much food. Uh, those that have, had the honor of, say, going to a family, your wife's province or family, the ones that have, love the Philippines, love being here, exploring the Philippines and being part of the Philippines, the ones that haven't shunned the wife's family 5 million islands away and, and you know what I'm talking about. You get to these family get-togethers, and it's a massive feast. It's just a massive feast, and we're not going to do bad boy, but they're going to get a lechon belly, and they'll cook that. It'll just be food and food and food and food. A lot of times the parties are the same food: fish, chicken, panza canton, spaghetti, lumpia Shanghai. A lot of them are just the same food, but and then you throw a different thing in here and there, like my desserts that I'll make. It's great. They like the dessert I make, and unfortunately, no deviled eggs. But yeah, it'll be fun. Bang it, bang it, bang on, bang on, bang on, bang on, bang it, bang on, bang it is ugly. Bang it, bang it, bang it. There was a bird, guys. Mike might know what I'm talking about. Maybe Ricky, because Ricky has been to Angeles City and stuff and walked the streets and all that. On Walking Street, when it was Walking Street, before all the renovation, before all that, this goes back, at least I can remember 7 years. I think it's down around the Walkabout Hotel, Walk Around Hotel, whatever it is. If it's not the Walkabout Walk Around Hotel, they had a black mynah bird. I think it was a mynah bird there in a cage. All right. And when you would get down around there, you would hear this bird talking, like it would call trikes. You're sitting there and you're hearing trike, 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 right? It would talk. It would, yeah, black mynah. It would mimic so much that was going on because it was Walkabout Hotel, because it was outside. It could hear what was going on. And you would also hear it say, bang it, bang it, bang it, which is ugly, right? And like girls are walking by, you can hear bang it, bang it. But it's gone. It's gone. I went down there. I talked to somebody inside management staff or somebody, and I asked about it because it was so cool. It was such a cool bird. I would always walk by and stop and listen to it and talk. I went up and talked to it. You know what I mean? Pang it. There you go. And they said some agency of the Philippines, whatever it was, came by and said they were not allowed to have the mynah bird. The law, something about a law. Imagine that. They want to enforce a law, all right, about this when you know what I mean. And they had to get rid of it. Now, where did it go? I don't know, but they said they basically were told, you got to get rid of it. Uh, you know, charges were going to be filed. I don't know if it was, what it was, some protection group. But that was a cool bird. And I'll tell you where there's another one in over on it'll come to me where we went diving, Porta Galera down there in Sabang, Porta Galera. Um, no, not Sabang, Porta Galera, and over there where we would stay and go scuba diving. As you walk down the road, the bottom of the hill, the little area to the left, they have a miner that sits out there, and you could hear it, and I seen it. We did, you know what, Ricky? We had someone try to pawn off, and they did because I wasn't too familiar with the birds. I owned a yellow umbrella cockatoo back in the States. Beautiful bird, just like the one from Beretta, the white one with the yellow headpiece that would come up. I didn't know too much about the myna bird, and I was looking online and trying to see more about it. And then I asked some dude up on Clark, do you have a myna bird? Can you find me a myna bird or whatever? And yeah. Well, he sold me a form of a myna bird, but it wasn't the myna bird that I was looking for because evidently they were used. Believe this or not, here's a little history for you. They used the myna birds during World War II. When the United States was fighting with the guerrilla fighters of the Philippines here, all right, before World War II, even during World War II, they would train these myna birds to talk and give out signals and give out warnings. So yeah, they used them. Hell, they used pigeons, right, to send pigeon mail. They're endangered. They may be, but I know you're not allowed to possess them. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to legally possess one. The ones that are in, any species that's in danger, for Christ's sakes, you know what I mean? But even lizards, people have lizards here. Those lizards that's run around behind our house and over across the street and all around here. There's people here that have them as pet lizards. Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, it like I was saying earlier, you got to pick and choose what's upsetting you in the Philippines. That's for damn sure. If not, get the hell out of here. Go the hell home. There you go. Minus Kiwa and Palawan are generally illegal to own as pets in the Philippines as they are protected under the Republican Act. Yeah, see, they're protected. They're protected bird. So you're not allowed to own them, Hang on 1 second. I got to go place my order. I'm up 1 hour. And I only keep this live stream for an hour. I try to keep it an hour. People coming back, they don't want to sit through 2 hours of me yakking and talking. But Wednesdays, when I do my Wednesdays live streams every Wednesday, Wednesday in the States, Thursday here in the Philippines. So it's Thursday, Philippines time and date. I can run it for 2 hours. I am going to open it up platform for people can come on. They can talk. They can say, you know what I mean? Say what's on their mind. Um, so I'll do, try to do 2 hours with that. But these I don't like to do over an hour. That's just me. That's just always been me. Other people don't mind. Maybe if the super chats were flowing, begging Feely. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, I'm kidding. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. But wait, I gotta place my order with Lut, the downstairs uh, um, chef. All right. Let me bring my camera back up. Get back to bed, Mike. Rest up. Get yourself better. Don't stress yourself out having to get having to get everything. I know Arlen will handle all of it, but uh, get better. Don't stress yourself out. Thumbs up for Philly. All right. All right. Does this microphone look professional? I always keep it down. I always push it down, like to where it's out of sight, out of mind, everything like that. But I'm kind of over talking the microphone. So if I bring it up to here, looks more professional, right? I look like a professional DJ or and here's another thing. This is for YouTubers out there because I hear this coming out of YouTubers when they talk. It's like, you don't even know what you are. You are not a blogger. You're a vlogger. I don't get it. You don't even know what you are. I'm a blogger. I'm a blogger. You're a vlogger. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap this one up. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe go. I don't know. I don't know. Today feels like a Saturday, but it's not. It's a Sunday. That's another thing. When you've been here in the Philippines, and maybe it happens. Bruce, maybe you could tell me, you're retired. It's like you lose track of just days, not what day it is. It's just weird. And what's weird is watching football on TV Monday morning. All right. That screws you up because you're so used to watching football back home Sundays. All right. It's Sunday. I know what day it is. And home day. Yeah. So anyways, guys, like I said, I about the video the guy put out and everything like that, I think he handled the best way he could. And like I said, there's no playbook on living here in the Philippines. You got to handle situations the way you got to handle situations. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was killed. Nobody was, I guess, shunned from their community. I guess nobody was deemed non-goddess karate, whatever it is called. The foreigner wasn't kicked out of his community. No harm, no foul, no play. He followed the steps that are required from the barangay to the police to having documentation to having these things to resolve the issue. And he did it his way. He did it his way. Um, but I can't understand where he could be coming from. You know what I mean? And he might be able to put up with roosters. He might be able to put up with people butting in front of him, which happens here. He might be able to put up with the other issues that will drive a foreigner crazier. But that one thing, you know what I mean? There could be one thing that just gets you, you know? They didn't deliver my package. I'm going down there and I'm gonna set the place ablaze. You know, you got to you know, like I said, there's no book on handling these situations like this here in the Philippines. So uh I am going to wrap this one up, guys. Thanks for everybody for stopping in. Remember Wednesday. That would be what is Wednesday? I don't even know. Let me look at the counter. Wednesday would be Thursday morning, so that would be Christmas morning for us. Christmas Eve for those back in the States. Maybe I'll skip this Wednesday. You know, everybody will be out doing their thing. But then again, you never know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. If I put we're going to go live on Wednesday, we'll go live. If not, um, I'll let you know. So, all right, guys, take care. And those that are out there, have a Merry Christmas and all the other fun stuff. Yes, I do say Merry Christmas. Yes, I do always have, it's born and raised. Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. And with that, we'll talk to you later.